everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bulletproof Dental Practice Podcast. It's Peter and I today, and we got a cool topic, one that was given to us through a friend, Miss Laura, formerly known as Laura Hatch, now Laura Nelson, correct, Peter?
Correct.
From Front Office Rocks, a program that we've been using for a little while, enjoying that. Anyway, she talked about customer service. She had listened to a podcast, and she talked about customer service being efficiency and time savings, and not just how you treat people. So people choose to do businesses with companies that are efficient rather than just companies that treat you really nicely.
Well, the context, Greg, I think let's back up just a little bit. I think the context, we were talking about customer service, and it was all these, the patient experience, and where society has now become trained, if you will, is that customer ease, making things easy on the consumer, is the ultimate hack. It's the ultimate customer service. Yes, people like, standing up in nice manners, but ultimately they want you to
meeting around the corner, come and bring the bag around.
Right. And that's nice. But ultimately we all feel overwhelmed. We all feel stressed for a time, no matter who you are, dentist, mother, soccer mom, engineer, whatever. Everyone, is a common theme right now that and maybe it's always, but it seems more prevalent right now. So I think is our time.
Self-checkout versus, exactly. So
right.
What people used to value is the checkout experience. The cashier was so nice. Oh my God, you want fries with that? How's your day going? Now it's like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm already listening to a podcast on my earpods, and I want to just self-check out. So how many times have you, at least in my experience, I'll buy something off of Instagram and I'll get to the checkout page and it has to link to some other platform, and I have to enter all my data in, and I'll just like, I'm going to pause. I'm not going to buy that. Versus like Shopify, or Apple Pay, where you literally, it has all of your information completely ready to go. All you have to do is double click and stare at your screen for facial recognition. So what we're trying to talk about today is that people think that it's their customer service, but if your organization, if your dental practice is clunky to deal with, I don't care how nice you are to people and how much you remember their birthday and all this stuff, you're going to lose people.
Right.
And there's a lot of ways that this happens. So I want to talk about the first way. I want to talk about patients' time. So let's talk about all the different ways in which practices waste patients' time, from the check-in procedure to the filling out of the medical history. I mean, the most frustrating thing, I just had to go to a chiropractor recently for my back. Something was actually going on my neck. I had like 9 pages, legit 9 pages to fill out with a pen and a clipboard. Never mind the COVID aspect of it all, that I'm like now touching a bunch of pens that everybody else has touched. It was a massive waste of my time. I could have done it on an app or something else. It was so frustrating. So I think I
agree. Electronic submission of check-in stuff, get that dialed in before, so that's not the first taste of the patient experience, right? Your patient experience is now already set off in a negative. You're doing something you don't want to do, which you showed up on time for your appointment, and now you get a clipboard, quote unquote, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love that.
By the way, I wrote feverishly to just like sign, no, not applicable. But it still took like 7 minutes. And by the way, I gave it back. And they said, no, you didn't complete it was double-sided everything. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So not only did I have to waste time, but I was wrong. I failed the test. I failed my test. I had to go back with my clipboard and be sent back in front of the other people waiting. So I was shamed for my lack of being able to fill out the clipboard.
And this is hard. Some of our patient management softwares have not caught up to this yet. And so we used to have to piece things together using FormStack and making sure it's a HIPAA compliant version of FormStack, which then put into a web merge, which then sent us a PDF. And then we would take it and print it and scan it and then put it in the patient's chart. So very clunky in itself, but it was very important to our practice to make sure that we had a digitized process from the consumer standpoint. Now we've streamlined it a little bit better because the softwares have caught up, but where there's not this double input, so to speak. But I think that is a great first point, Craig, is don't let the first impression be one of, here's a clipboard, go sit down and fill out countless pieces of paper. So the way around this is make it digital. And then tell the person when you're scheduling, we're going to send you an email 3 days prior or a week prior to your appointment. I need you to fill out this online paperwork prior so that when you show up, we are ready to roll, which is, I think, the second point. And I don't want to hijack your thing, Craig, but I think
this is great. This is our
physical time, right? We have always prided myself. I said, look, if the patient's appointment is at 1:30 and they show up at 1:30, we better damn well be ready to see them. Because again, going back to time, customer ease, people get pissed off when you go to the doctor's office and you show up at 2 for your 2:00 appointment and you're not seen by the doctor until 3. And I'm talking about a physician, right?
And by the way, it's not a conscious process of you getting pissed off, but when you waste a patient's time well, I'm just going to say, if you start to run late and things happen, people start to look for reasons why they don't like you anymore. It's like when a patient owes you money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if a patient owes you money, they're going to be less happy with. That's why when you get to a hotel, the first thing they do is hey, Dr. Boulden, welcome to the Ritz-Carlton. Let's go ahead and settle up. Is this a card you want to use? Let's go ahead and handle all your charges. Go ahead and sign your bill.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally walk and you'll get an Apple alert that your Amex was just dinged blank dollars, because they just know it has to get done right away. So imagine if you have this extended payment plan where you pay 1/3 up at front, 1/3 at temporaries, and 1/3 after finals. When that patient's wearing those temporaries and they know today they have to go ahead and not only approve all the other stuff that they have, but then they have to get hit with that bill. It weighs on them. So if a patient owes you money as well, that's bad customer service. So get the payment done as efficiently and quickly as possible, and don't have people owe you money. That's another thing that's customer service. I think that's relevant to this.
Keep rolling, buddy. I like this.
Okay. So the next part about wasting time is, what type of technology are you utilizing that saves patients time in the chair? So are you going to choose to gag your patients with alginates, or are you going to take a scan of their mouth? Mm-hmm. Not only is it time in the chair, it's comfort and ease. And I know there's a lot of
that's what we're focused on, the patient ease, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
I know a lot of dentists are listening to that. Like, I take a great alginate. Oh my God, no. Susie, my assistant, takes the best alginate.
We flavor it. We flavor it.
We
They're
flavor
delicious.
it. We put this. Do you want mint or pina colada?
Ooh, I love
what do you want to choke on today? Yeah. Ooh. How about a little minty pina colada with strawberry in there too?
As we capture your uvula.
Yeah. We'll literally capture the portion of your trachea. It'll be really cool. We'll pour it up in stone. You can have a little
But
mantle.
Worry, you'll be left with a little pina colada aftertaste.
Right. What is that? A piece of coral cast in stone? No, that's my fucking windpipe my doctor took of me. Anyway, so but doctors will say that my patients don't mind an alginate. We take great alginates. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, if you have an ability to get a scanner, I'm sorry, everybody has the ability. If you have the desire to make it better for your patients, that is customer service. I would rather go to a place where no one knew my name and they didn't gag me with an alginate than a place that everybody knows my name and I have to get alginates for my study models. I'm just saying that right out. We all would agree on that.
I've got a thesis on the technology. You're saying everyone's got the ability, and then you say, well, not everyone does, and yes, everyone does.
No, everyone does. I stand corrected. Right. I want to redact that statement. Everybody has the ability to do this.
To get an iTero, and I can say without question, because we bought 4 at once, and they will give you favorable financing. And I'm just saying, it's an easy way to enter into no money down tech. And I promise you, it'll pay for itself. If deployed correctly, it will pay for itself, either in referrals, patient wow, scanning people immediately, or the cavity detection.
And by the way, we are not competent. I wish the people at iTero would be like, oh, this is a good plug for us.
I think people know by now we're not compensated, Craig.
I know, but it's like, here we are going into iTero and like bragging for them. And you had to drop shit tons of money on it, and so do I. But the point that I'm trying to make and is that there's a study that shows that if you just scan somebody, even if you don't do anything with it, the mere act of scanning a patient increases case acceptance. That's why every DSO that's worth their salt scans every single patient, every single one.
Well, it was like that fun hack I said in the summit. I was like, I bet you if you walk into a consultation with just an iPad, I promise you your conversions will go up by simply holding the iPad. Don't do anything with it. Just freaking walk in with it.
Or patient photos for that matter. Take a picture of the patient's occlusal with mirrors and put it on a big monitor, and then STFU.
Biggest low-hanging fruit in all of converting dentistry.
You don't need to say anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What is that?
Well, I don't know. Is that my mouth? Oh my God. What's that dark thing? We got to fix that. Well, hold on, Mrs. Jones. That is you. Yes, that's you. But that black thing is an amalgam. It's, oh, gotta get out of there. I've never seen that. Who is that? My mouth? It's disbelief.
It's disbelief. It's awesome.
Disbelief.
Right. And those are, we can we get that out? Those are buying questions.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can we get that? Yes. I'm actually here to talk to you about something totally different, but yeah, we got to fix that. Okay. Put a pin in that because you're going too fast. Well, can we get it done by Christmas? They never noticed it before. They didn't even know it was theirs. So
keep going. I derailed you a little bit.
No, it's okay. I'm just kind of going.
All right. So
the next
convenience in the chair was that
scanning. Where I'm going to go next is somewhere that I firmly believe as well. And I just made a major investment into Sirona. I'm buying the whole bunch of stuff that doesn't MX5 milling machines and all this crazy stuff.
That's where you're going.
So I'm going with that. So imagine, if you will, patient A has to have a temporary and come back for their crown, their single unit crown. They broke number 30. It's a sensitive tooth. They have a temporary on, or not a sensitive tooth, it's a favorable fracture, just broke off the cusp. They go home, they get a temporary. I know all of you guys out there and gals out there, your temporaries never come off. Never. Or
break.
And patients always listen to everything you say. They say, oh yes, no gum. They don't floss. They don't need a caramel apple. They don't crush ice. So temporaries are flawless. But the 1 in a million temporaries that come off, they have to go back to your office. And people are like, oh, it's a 5-minute visit. Dentists always say it's a 5-minute visit. It's not 5 minutes when you live across town. You have kids that are being homeschooled and you have to get your whole day. I mean, to go to the dentist for most people requires 3 hours of time, even though they're in and out in 5 minutes. It may take 3 hours to get there between dropping the kids off and doing this and fitting into their day and driving and parking and all that crap. So a single visit crown for me, in my mouth, I would not want to have a temporary. I want my tooth to be cut. I don't want temporary cement. I don't want a contamination of the dental tubules. I want a crown prepped and delivered in the same day for a variety of clinical and time reasons. And by the way, for those that think that, in-office milling sucks, it just means you have to become a better dentist. So I would say, let me just finish this because you can tear this apart. And you probably want to tear it apart.
I want to tear it apart.
Okay. So if you are an average dentist, your digital dentistry will suck, because I don't care how much power loops you're doing, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, whatever. If you have freaking like telescopes mounted on your head, when you see your prep on a monitor and it's blown up like 10 or 15 times, it looks like you were drunk when you were prepping it. So it becomes a very big aha moment where you look at your prep through 3.5 loops or 4 loops. You're like, wow, that is perfect. And then you blow it up and you scan it. You're like, oh shit, that thing looks like a beaver cut that with his teeth.
Look at that overhang. What the hell was they doing?
But when you can, but it'll make you better. It'll make you better.
I have heard that.
So now go through.
I'm not going to beat it up. I just wanted to tell you that I have been bitten twice in the industry in my career with the in-house milling. I jumped on too early, probably my fault.
That's the problem.
And second, so I had to literally get a refund on 2 entries into the milling. So I think scanning is that the barrier to entry is pretty small. Right. It's a tangible investment the team can get on board. To me, Craig, it's always been daunting to say we are now in-house milling.
Oh my God, it'd be rocket power for your practice, bro.
We'll talk about it, but I've been, it's twice bitten. Like we're good. Right. But I hear you, there's when someone has a prep and then a seat in 2 different appointments, it's double the anesthesia, double the time, double the travel, double the appointment, double. Right. I get it from an economies at scale. It's just, I have seen, and it didn't work well in our hands, but maybe it is time to revisit, honestly.
Yeah. So whenever it comes to technology, as you and I always talk about, it's never an if, it's a when. I mean,
I agree with that.
The first car that went down the road, people were laughing. It was banging and smoking, looked like it was going to explode. Like, I'll stick to my horse. Look at the first cell phone, like we talked about in our book. It was luggage. The first cell phone, and you and I are old enough, unfortunately, we'll admit it, to talk about the first cell phone. It was legit luggage. It was a bag and a cord. It was like so heavy. It's like, I'll just use a goddamn payphone. I can't carry that. My arm will fall off. So, but now we know cell phones are indispensable, and milling and all that has come the same way. I was not an early adopter. So I went to test drive it in someone's practice, and, as a manufacturer that's not even being really made anymore. But they're like, look at how great it is. They brought me to the day, to the practice. I prepped a patient. They scanned and delivered it. It was gnarly.
It looked like bubble gum that you just put in
legit
anatomy.
And the funny
white
thing
bubble
is
gum.
the dentists who are doing it, like, look at how great this is. I'm like, let's take an x-ray of how it fits. Like, well, why would you want to do that? I was like, well, I do that. Can I see some of the x-rays you've taken? Oh, we don't do that.
No.
So, I mean, listen, if you don't want to look, everything looks good if you don't want to look at it. So, but yeah, so I'm a big believer in same day milling or same day delivery, because people go to play. I mean, at least after COVID's done.
All right,
or
we get
before
it.
COVID.
I get
Yeah.
it. We get it.
Well, let me just complete my thought, just so it's not a complete
because your
random.
thoughts are long and
No, this is
long-winded.
time this. Hold your hands up.
All right, ready, go.
Okay. So people go play cards and they say, you got a temporary? What kind of dentist do you go to? You got to go to mine. Boom. All right. Next one.
All right, Craig. Fair enough. I do agree that not if, it's a matter of when. It's just the when inflection point for our practice is, we haven't really had time. So
got it.
I hear you. Lots been, we've had enough fucking gut punches this year. We're gonna not jump into the digital lab space just right now. Okay. Next patient ease thing that you want to talk about is scheduling.
Yes.
Make it easy for people to schedule. And I'm not talking, we already talked about the filling out the health questionnaire. Can you text the office? Yes or no? Because look, me as a consumer, and I'm not even a millennial, I'm out of that generation. I literally get mad when my phone rings sometimes, because I'm like, who's calling? Right? Just, can you text me? And so when the business can adapt and be nimble to where society has pivoted, right? Everyone prefers texting. So now we use a service that allows you to text or call our landline, right? Which then pops up on a portal. And my team members prefer that as an inbound because they can manage 10 conversations at once, right? So that's just a simple low-hanging fruit convenience for your patient, is to allow them to text you to schedule, like text communication, text to confirm. In dentistry, Laura Hatch was talking the other night about, it's funny how our industry is behind, is that we used to call patients to confirm your appointment. And if you didn't, and then you had to call them back to confirm that you're actually going to come, which is like, what? And so in today's day and age, where everything goes to voicemail, email is almost spam now at scale. It's so I think texting has now become, I would say, Craig, by default, even my mother prefers it. And I use my mom as like the reference of like when the tides change, but she even prefers that. And so I think that is something that if you're not doing that now, look at doing it. It's a really easy integration. You don't have to change your phone number. There are plenty of services out there. We use one called ZipWhip.
It's great. And a lot of the plug-in practice management solutions also have text features as well. Just use them. It's so good. And also what's great about the text message solutions is that the chain is there. So if you have two front desk people or two admin people, I just violated one of my own rules, by the way. I called people by their furniture. I hate doing that. But if you have two people, they can actually see the chain. So Laura said, come in at 3, and then 3 hours later, like, I can't do 3:30. And then Jenny can say, come in at 4:30, whatever. So it actually works really well.
The next thing I want to say is actually pretty obvious, is online scheduling, but this has been a little contentious.
It's hard for me. I've had trouble with it, by the way. Right. Our integration.
But Craig, would you not agree? It's the way.
Agreed.
Right.
100%.
It's just clunky in our space, and it's clunky for dentistry. I don't know why I'm using the word clunky so much today, but it's clunky because we use blocks of time, right? That are longer, more involved. And if we just let people control our schedule, and I'm a big advocate of pre-blocks and stuff like that. So sometimes chaos can ensue. And unfortunately, when people can schedule without human contact or without human accountability, I have seen that no-show rates go way up because they didn't talk to anybody.
Yes. Yeah, right? I'm happy you said that. That's exactly why we couldn't get it to work. Our no-show rates on the online schedule were through the roof.
Right. And I don't
Actually,
know if
we had providers saying, please don't do that.
If it's this year it's been off, but I have heard that from many practices, some in our mastermind, some just emailing us, say, what do you recommend? There's the tech is there. It's just that unfortunately some services I couldn't use because it violated my pre-blocks, right? I wanted to be able to schedule someone when, and unfortunately the software as to date only allows, it sees a hole and it offers it up as a solution to that person who's booking, and people can just kind of cause mass entropy on your schedule. You like that, Craig? How I threw that word in there.
I like entropy. Yeah, I'm not sure
Entropy
what it
and
means.
titrate are good words right now for some
You
reason.
can titrate entropy too. Little by little, you can get more
You
disorganized.
can.
I think that's basically the podcast right now.
And I think we are testing it right before you just throw it out and allow it to be done at all across the board for your practice. That you can shrink it down and make sure you have a beta control that says maybe let's just offer it up for hygiene appointments or offer it up for certain days, right? And control that and get that process dialed down before you just open up like, okay, it's a free for all. We schedule online now, and then just your team hates it. Everyone is you're getting no-showed all over the place. But it is a foregone conclusion that it is going to be the way. Would you not agree, Craig?
100%. What makes
but
it?
How do you create accountability? And I think sometimes I've told my team, like, look, it wouldn't be so bad if after you scheduled online, you sent them a text and, hey, this is Katie at the front at the Buckhead office. I saw that you just scheduled. Really excited to see you. Make sure, blah blah blah. And then you created some accountability, human contact via text. I think would totally amplify them showing up. Right.
100%.
Okay.
One of the problems and the challenge is going to be too, Pete, and I don't want to go too far tangential on this. The hair salon is a no-brainer. You want a cut or a shampoo. I mean, the ladies have these things that they get done. They know exactly what it is. What'll happen in dentistry is I want a cleaning.
Mm-hmm. I scheduled a cleaning.
And oh, by the way, here's the 15 teeth that fell out since the last time I saw a dentist 20 years ago. Well, you're here for a cleaning. Yeah, I know. And a checkup. Here's the 15 teeth. I have a wedding tonight. So it's like there's this, people don't understand the condition of their mouth, and it causes a lot of confusion between intake and clinical team.
It's almost like a vicariously over promising and then having to
Well, it's also people feel bad. They don't say, hey, Jackie, really good talking to you. I'm a total mess. My teeth are in my hand. Can you reserve 3 days of the doctor's time? It's like, no, I just want a cleaning. How long has it been since the last visit? 25 years. No big deal. Just got a cup, and they don't want to admit it. So you'll see the intake form saying like, yeah, just wants to get established. And then you go in the consult room like, yeah, my front tooth fell out an hour ago. Like, oh,
I have a calculus bridge. It's been
exactly.
Teeth in.
What did you do to my teeth? They feel so different. You were so dirty.
They're scratchy on the backside now.
They're scratchy. Did you mar them? No, you were just, this is dirt. Don't worry.
Did you nick them? Do they feel rougher on the back now?
Right.
Yeah, we removed the calculus bar that you've polished millions of cycles.
But don't worry, just keep doing you, and in 3 months I'll all be back. Don't worry. We'll get to the good news is you don't clean your teeth.
Oh,
that's awesome.
You got any more rabbits out of your hat for the ease, Craig?
Rabbits out of my hat for the ease.
I mean,
the obvious things, hours, everybody has talks about like, how do I compete in today's, you could be the most compelling dental office that you could have the most compelling strategy ever. Be open really early and really late and accept walk-ins.
Yeah.
I mean, you really want to figure out how to, Peter and I would love to have a dentist in our town that was a 24-hour walk-in. Mm-hmm. We would be your biggest referrals. So if someone out there's listening, why don't you do that?
I swear, if I was starting out again, Greg, with no family, no kids, starting out, I would, and with, I would literally, that's the way I would do it.
Well, that's what Walmart's going to do that. Walmart will do that for us.
I think one thing that in closing,
and by the way, Walmart will have same-day crowns and scanners. FYI.
Okay. I think what I'd like to, in closing, just say that, like we always say with everything, no matter if you focus on it and you become interested in the topics that we just discussed, and there's probably 5 others that are great that someone is sitting there listening to this is yelling, what about this? That's what I used to do, Craig. I used to scream at other podcasts before I had one. But I think if you become obsessed and you start looking and opening and creating awareness, right? This podcast is to create awareness about what's going on in your ecosystem, where you need to fill in some gaps. Maybe you got some good ideas, but I think if you become obsessed with the process from the consumer standpoint, we always forget
obsessed with adding value.
No, it's not adding value. I get so tired of that cliche now. I'm tired of like adding value.
Well, that's what it is.
Not adding value. It's adding ease and convenience, making people's life easier, better, faster.
I had no idea I needed Uber. I had no idea.
All right.
I had no idea I needed PayPal.
But now you can't unring the bell.
Right. So it is our job as business people to innovate. We sit a lot of time and having meetings with our office manager. What do we do? Just spend time walking around your
Right.
office and hearing what are the pain points. Ask your admin team,
And
what are the pain points?
and audit.
Everybody.
And this is a takeaway. If Craig will let me talk, the takeaway is
Well, don't finish because I got one more thing after you do. So don't end on
takeaway
me.
is audit your process and actually be that consumer from soup to nuts. Audit it from like testing everything all the way through. Go through the patient experience, right?
Right.
Lay back in the chair, get the consultation, get
Right.
greeted by Christine at the front desk. All these things. Audit your process from soup to nuts as the
Right.
person, right? And you're going to see like, we could have done this a little bit better. And it's not that you were
Right.
probably doing it bad, but you had an opportunity to be easier, faster, and better.
And you've got to give the consumer what they want. So when you think you know it all, go ask your admin team, what's the biggest thing that people are upset about? And they'll tell you, they'll say, hey, Dr. Jones, patients are mostly upset that we won't do a cleaning on the first appointment. Tell me more. Well, you know how you asked us to do a comp exam and all the records and then you book them for a cleaning later? Yeah. Well, patients really hate that. Well, how many? Everyone. 1 out of 10 is fine with it. I tell them you went to Pankey and Coyce and this is the way you like to do it, but they really want a cleaning because time is valuable. Do it. You can do it. You can actually give them a cleaning. So simple way to do it, by the way, really, really simple is I'm sorry. Ask your team. Ask your team, but actually give them a cleaning. And people will say, well, what type of cleaning do they need? Maybe they need SRP, maybe they need gross debridement. It doesn't matter. You can tell a patient who hasn't been to the dentist in 20 years, hey, you have a lot of stuff on your teeth. You haven't gone to the dentist in 20 years. That means we like to see patients 2 or 3 times per year. That means you missed 40 to 60 cleanings. So in order to have a good experience today, you're not going to do 40 or 60 cleanings worth of cleanings in the next 45 minutes, or else your face will be off on the floor. What we're going to do instead is we're going to do a cleaning above the gum line. Do not use the word gross debridement or else Peter and I will go crazy. You're going to do a cleaning above the gum line. But please, Mrs. Jones, don't be lured into this idea that just because your teeth feel clean, that they are clean. We're leaving a lot of stuff underneath the gum line that we have to go get. All we did is we want to make good use of your time. You got this type of clean.
We pressure wash the house, but next visit, we're going to clean the crawl space. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Just because your house looks shiny, we washed your car, you haven't had an oil change. So it looks nice and shiny, but you get the point. So give them what they want. And if you're curious about what the patient wants, don't ask us, go ask your team.
Give the people what they want.
And now I'm okay. Now I'm complete. Now you can step all over.
No, I'm done now. I'm done now too.
I'm done too.
I think that's a wrap.
All right.
Okay.
I like your hat, by the way, for people who are not watching. Peter is finally in his glory because after years and years of being mocked and ridiculed and otherwise harassed, if you will,
It was
his position on Bitcoin.
I've been a Bitcoin bull for a long time now. So today is a vindication, my friend. My phone has been on fire, blowing up. Hey, help me out. What's going on with this? Can you help me get into the space? Nope.
Oh, come on. That's not true. That's not who you are.
I'm
kidding. Anyway, we did release the podcast today
with
right?
Pomp. The Pomp.
So.
Pomp is, if you guys haven't, if you're just clicking in, Pomp is the biggest influencer in crypto space and crypto Twitter, which is really fun to follow along with, by the way.
Yeah,
Greg, get on Twitter and just look at all the conversations. It's just fascinating. Twitter is fascinating to me. But anyway, Pomp is the man. He is the dude. He is the spokesperson for this movement and a lot of this investment thesis. Can I say thesis?
Thesis. It doesn't go well with my lisp.
But it's a great podcast, and I was thrilled that he agreed to come on. Honestly, because this guy.
I know what a big deal, man.
Yeah,
what a big deal.
We've got some big.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we're good together, brother. Hey, so listen. Before we let you go, I'll go. Thanks for listening, and please drop a review and also freebpbook.com.
Oh.
So we are now releasing. If I've said it, I'm sorry, but we are releasing our book for free. So just play shipping. freebpbook.com. Thanks for all the love. We appreciate you. We're honored to do this, and let's make our industry the best it can be.